Hello, hello.
It's that barbershop talk when we get together. It's that barbershop talk. We do this in any weather. It's that barbershop talk.
Welcome in, dope man. Welcome in. Can you hear me?
It's that barbershop talk with the kings. Come on through. It's that barbershop talk when we get together. It's that barbershop talk. We do this in any weather. It's that barbershop talk. What you gon' do? That barbershop talk with the kings. Come on through. We get to the deep root of what's going on. Although from a spring we still up in your home. Sometimes you be feeling afraid and alone. We here to encourage you, gotta be strong. Logan and TikTok right now. It's almost that time. It's about to begin.
Welcome in, dope man, to a king salute. Let's go.
We get to the deep root of what's going on. Although from a spring we still up in your home. Sometimes you be feeling afraid and alone. We here to encourage you, gotta be strong.
Welcome in, welcome in. We got a great topic today. Thank you for joining King's Barbershop Talk podcast. We got a king in the building. Give it up for Dope Man. If y'all not following him, follow him. It's a real good king. Hey, I see you, Dorothy's son. I see you, boy.
It's that barbershop talk when we get together. It's that barbershop talk. We do this in any weather. It's that barbershop talk. What you gon' do? It's that barbershop talk with the kings. Come on through.
While we just sitting here, let's run these likes up real quick, man. Do that for me one time.
Barbershop talk. We do this in any weather. It's that barbershop talk. What you gon' do? That barbershop talk with the kings. Come on through. We get to the deep root of what's going on. Although from a spring we still up in your home. Sometimes you be feeling afraid and alone. We here to encourage you, gotta be strong.
Oh, go ahead and take your time. Go ahead and take your time, brother. You know what's up. I hope everybody's feeling good today. Hope everybody getting some water today. You hydrated on this good Saturday. You feel me? We are blessed to be alive. We blessed to have podcasts. We blessed to have a great community. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Let's go.
It's that barbershop talk when we get together.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the likes to Marie. Thank you for the likes, Ocean. Dope man, thank you for the likes. Hey, when we get together, Big Cup, welcome on in, baby. Let's go. Let's run these likes up. What you gonna do? Come on through. Hey, let's go. Let's get hyped in here, baby. Yeah. Hey, let's go, man. I'm feeling good today. Hopefully, all y'all feeling good today. Yeah, let's go. Hey, there go the man. There go that man. Your favorite host, your favorite podcast. Big Uncle's in the building.
Hey.
Internal opening.
What's up with you, my brother?
Let's go.
What's good? Can you hear me?
Let's go. Can you hear me up?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. I got you, Dorothy.
You say you can hear me?
Right now. Hey.
Can you hear me?
coming through, we still up in your house. Sometimes you be feeling afraid, the law will be here to encourage. You gotta be strong. Logging in TikTok right now. It's almost that time. It's about to begin. We safe up in this spot right now. So go on and share and invite on your friends. Invite on your friends. Invite on your friends.
Hey, today, welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you hear me?
Welcome to King's Barbershop Talk, right? Today, we have a special guest.
Okay, Shakir can't.
I'm going to bring him up in just a minute.
Can you? He can't hear me.
But once again, King's Barbershop Talk is dealing with conversations that affect us culturally, socially,
Calling
and
Shakir.
mentally
Shakir,
as
can you
black
hear me?
men, right? And we want to help black men learn how to talk to black men. Can you hear me, Big Unc?
I can hear you, but
Can
you
hear
can't
you.
hear. I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
No, I can't hear you, bro. No, I can't hear Big Unc. Hold on. All right, can you hear me, Unc? But you on mute though, bro. So I can't hear you because you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm off mute now. Lord
They
have
say
mercy.
something, Unc?
Can you hear me? They can hear me.
No, I can't hear you. Hold on.
They can hear me in the chat. Let me write the comment. They can hear me. He just can't hear me, y'all. Okay. Since y'all can hear me until he come back.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know why.
You can't hear me? I don't know what
We'll
it
figure
is.
it out.
Mine's is A1.
But, thank y'all
Okay,
for
hold on.
joining King's Barbershop Talk, right? We have a special guest that's in the queue. He goes by
Hey.
your favorite person that I know, that you're about to know.
Yeah. Hey,
We're gonna
y'all,
be
can you
talking
hear me?
about something real deep, right?
Can y'all in the chat hear me now?
And they said drop and come back, Big Aunt.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, that's your favorite podcast host, your favorite podcaster, Big Unk, in the building. I have an echo.
All right. Can y'all hear me now? Am I echoing? I don't know what's going on, y'all. Oh, y'all saying, okay, listen.
All right, we gonna get it going. We gonna get it going.
Not me.
Hopefully you can hear my co-host. Hopefully eventually I can hear him.
But y'all can hear me good, right? Ocean Blue
Us
said
both.
she can
Good,
hear us
good,
both.
good. With no further ado, I want to bring up the special guest.
You know what?
What's going on, black man? How you feeling, King?
I'm great. Give me 1 second.
How's your day
I'm
going?
in the, oh man, amazing, fast, busy.
Okay, can y'all hear us both now?
Yeah, I can hear everybody. I've been hearing y'all.
Oh,
Yeah, hold
can
on
you,
for a second though.
Shakir, you still can't hear me?
It's a cell phone commercial for a minute. Yeah, we gotta get
Man, he
these in
can't even
order,
hear me.
man. We gotta get these
He
in order.
can't even hear me, y'all. I'm gonna have to be like SB. Tell him I said, I don't know why. It's probably the way he got his output. His input. I don't know why he can't hear me. What's up, dope man? What up? What up? What up? Nah, I don't think he can hear me, y'all. Oh, we got some good topics today. We got all kind of stories for you today, all kind of barbershop talk. I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Thanks for asking. Y'all who ain't following, follow Dope Man in the comment. Make sure y'all pick him up, man. I don't know how I'm gonna get him to hear me, y'all. Shakir. Nah, it's an echo. Shakir. I got all bars. I know my Wi-Fi today.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Brother Jeremiah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
I can
man.
hear you. You can't hear me though. I feel like Ghost.
Yeah, I
I
can
feel
hear
like
you,
Patrick Swayze. You can hear me?
man. I feel like somebody, bro, because I got the podcast equipment up and running. It's like, man, it was working last night. Now it's
Yeah,
not working.
sometimes it's like that though. Hey, y'all got to give us grace. Give us brothers some grace up here. Nah, he trying to work these kinks out. Hey, look, I feel like
Oh,
Patrick Swayze on Ghost. He's trying to get in between them and scream at him. They like, you a ghost. We can't hear you. Okay, I'm
man,
back,
thank
y'all.
y'all for
I feel like you
with us,
brought me
man.
back. Blessings to you, my brother. Blessings to you. Take me rewind.
How you doing, man? How you
All right,
Grady,
all
doing?
what's
right.
up? Hey, y'all tap the screen for the brother. Oh, they at 2.5. They showing love today. They showing
Hey,
love.
man, we
Hey,
getting in there,
let's see
man.
how fast we can get to 10,000, y'all. I bet you we can get more people up in here. Y'all make sure y'all tap the screen and share it live.
Yeah, I had to
Share it
feed the
live to
Right
little
on.
ones
somebody
right
that's gonna
quick.
share it live.
You
We
know.
finna get into this stuff.
Yeah, no further ado. Um,
Share it
First
live to
and
somebody
foremost,
that's gonna
black
share
man,
it live. Absolutely.
Big how you doing? The
What's up?
favorite host, the favorite
Oh man, listen.
podcast man. How you doing?
I appreciate that, brother. But I'm just trying to, you know, follow the trails of yours and some of my ancestors' footsteps. You know, y'all left them trails blazing, so I'm just trying to, follow that light that y'all left down that path, man. That y'all continue to lead. That we all each other are continuing to lead, man. And I am so
Yes.
excited. I'm so excited, y'all, because the brother that we got today is our special guest host, guest speaker. Is somebody near and dear to me, somebody that I would consider a real brother. You know, when I say brother, I don't use that term loosely. Yeah,
Deputy,
man, I
welcome
can't
in.
wait. I can't wait to get into this. I can't wait, y'all. I can't wait to get into this
Yeah,
type of stuff. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
yeah.
What's up,
So
baby
let's talk
D?
about it, man.
Baby
So
D.
with no further ado, I would like to welcome the star of the show,
Big
the
boxing.
special guest,
Big boxing.
big boxing, real quick.
Big
We go big
boxing.
boxing real quick. Oh, thank you for the love. We go big box the man, Dorothy's son. How you doing, champ?
Let's get
Man,
some of these
tell us who you are,
microphones.
what you're about, man. Let us know about who you are. You on mute. You on mute.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Let me get that salute over again. Salute to Barbershop
Salute,
Talk.
King.
Big and the big homie from Cali. I'm blessed and
Yes,
highly favored.
sir.
I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm Dorothy's son, man. That's who I am. I
Okay
represent
then.
the I represent the blood of my mother. You know, I
Okay.
am the manifestation of the intentions of my father.
Talk
I
to me.
am as great as my blood runs in this soil and that of any other land. You know, I'm
Daryl,
Dorothy's
welcome
son.
in. Daryl, welcome in.
Talk to him.
Hey, man. Appreciate that, Dorothy's
Much
son.
love. Much love.
It's a blessing. It's an honor for you to join us as we start this podcast, man. Join us as we begin to embark on bigger and better journeys, right? So, man, thank you for giving me your time, your energy, and your support, right? So, with that being said, let's get into this topic. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about how do we deal with co parenting for from a man's perspective. So, Dorothy, how do you deal with co-parenting from a man's perspective, individually speaking?
Well, I mean, how I deal with it now, I accept my role and the responsibility that's bestowed on me. I understand that it is my responsibility to raise these children, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have two young daughters. It is their mother's responsibility to teach them the importance of their anatomy. So I have no experience in ever being a little girl. However, I have experience in being a human, and I have experience in being a father. So my answer to that question is men in general need to step up and take that leadership position that was bestowed on them. When you got with this woman, whether these children are yours or not, you have to consider that you are a father.
Come on now.
And the example that you provide these children, this is who they're going to eventually grow up to be. So I understand my role as a leader in my house and my responsibility to raise my daughters. Now, had you asked me this with my adult children, I may have had a completely different answer because I had no clue. I had nothing to contrast what a father was for me to know what type of father I should have been. Because I was 16 when my oldest daughter was born and 18 when my twins was born. I was a baby with babies. So then that question would have perplexed me. I probably would have said, I don't know, buy him some shoes. But today my perspective is different. Today my perspective is it is my responsibility to ensure that they are either a gift or a curse to society. I can't leave it up to society to make that determination.
That's deep. That's deep. So let me ask you this question, SB. Now, being a man, right? How would you say that? Okay, coming into a household, because let's address this right here. We don't always end up being with the person that we make our first child with. So if you know what you're supposed to not hope for love again because you hit 40 or 50, or you know what I'm saying? So like being a man, from a man's perspective, when you meet a woman and you allow or you are allowed, whichever however that go, y'all come together and y'all living together and that woman already got other children, how does that go? Like how does that co-parenting go? Like what are some of the foundational principles, or how do you come into the situation? Like
Well, me personally, I'm not in the market now, so I couldn't tell you what I would do now because right now I'm good in my life and my future wife. Uh, Having said that, I wouldn't be willing initially to be introduced to her children. When we first meet, my first
come on now.
inclination is not to meet her children, not
Right.
because uh, I'm opposed to women having children, but because I'm opposed to sending children mixed signals. I don't want to come around this child and this child uh, becomes fond of me, and I don't like his or her mother, or she don't like me, and we don't work past the first date. So my answer would be we have to consider the woman, right? We have to consider her virtues and juxtapose those to our values and our expectations of what we would want from a partner. But we got to have a clear idea as to who we are. Because when you introduce children into the equation, it can easily complicate your perception of self if you're not founded in who you are. So know whether or not you want to be with this woman first, or at the bare minimum, get to know her more. And if so, and she has children, get to know her children and observe how you are received by them. If the children receive you, the mother should take note of that. And if the children are rejecting you, the mother should also take note of that. But the man should also. You don't want to be the one to create a fight between mother and child. That's not your purpose in her life. So just knowing whether or not you want to be with her, and if so, then get to know those children in the same loving way that you know want to know the mother, because affection has nothing to do with the physical stuff. It's how we receive by one another, the type of affinities that are developed through consistency and building relationships.
Right,
So
right.
when the child see the man treat the mother well, the child is inclined to want a piece of that. So yeah, that's what I would encourage men to do. First, know
That's
what you want, know
that's
yourself.
that's interesting. That's very, and the reason why, just to and I'm sure Shakir got more questions. The reason why I asked that is because how often do we not think that way though? Because in that moment we selfish, right? So we want what we want, whether it's from a woman's side or a man's side, from a male or female perspective, we want what we want, right? But those children sitting in the background, just paying attention and soaking up like a sponge, right?
Absolutely.
Them children, like, that's so profound. Like, that is how it should be done. Get to know and have the courage enough to say, even if we do something, okay, we know what we together for. If you know that man just finna be a hit and run, that's all you want him for, don't bring that man around your children.
Exactly.
If you know that woman ain't finna be the one that you finna have in your house, cooking, cleaning, like sharing a space with you and that you look to see a future with, stop bringing that woman around your children because you trying to impress that woman. So you like, here go my daughter, and they like, oh, she's so cute, because your motive is with this little girl. Because listen, I'm going to be the first one to say it. I said, I used to go to the mall with my daughter when she was like 1 or 2, and they used to be like, she is so gorgeous. I'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just, me and her mama ain't really. But my motive was, come on, little nay, so we can get the, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. Or, a lot of men are attracted to children who are respectful. When you meet a woman and she got a respectful, you know what I'm saying, son or daughter, you be like, dang, because it gives a sense of who that woman is, how her children act, that you be like, damn, she must have raised them kind of right. So I'm saying, but that be in a selfish way. Like, why don't we just be like, nah? I hear people say that, like, I'm not gonna allow for you to meet my child, and it be months. I
Absolutely.
respect that. I respect that. I respect that. That's why I asked you that though.
Absolutely.
My question to you is, Dorothy, right? Know that you have 2 daughters.
Actually, I have 4 daughters and 1 son. I have
Okay.
2 young minor daughters that live with me, 2 and 5.
Okay. Okay. So with your children, right? Would you say it's best to understand their mother? Because when we look at children, right, half of our child is the other parent, right? Because we'll say like, oh, you acting like your daddy, or you acting like your mama, right? So when our child is acting like that parent, do we understand that other side of that parent to know how to adequately deal with our child?
Well, I will first say that correlation does not mean causation.
Carl, that's
Just
right.
because there's a correlation between tendencies of one parent versus another, that doesn't necessarily determine the biology of a child and how it is expressed. Certain environments that we, even as adults, are exposed to for the first time, it caused a gene that had been dormant in us all of our life to become active. And once this gene becomes active, it's going to express itself. Now, in relation to children, that theory holds true also. So the responsibility of the adult is to understand what this expression is telling you. You have to be able to decipher from the verbal communications of the child, the nonverbal communicational cues, and how they're navigating through certain processes. And if you can do that as a parent, right? And the difficulty in that is it requires a lot of intent. You have to intentionally do these things. You can't allow these things to become subconscious, and you can't be referred to do these things by somebody else. There's this saying that they have, you familiar with it. It ain't on you, it's in you. And that's how I feel when it comes to parenting. just because we are human beings and we all hold within us the propensity to nurture, it does not necessarily mean that we all will be thrust in an environment where that nurturing factor can manifest through us and how we treat children.
And is that the universe's way of saying, like, because I heard when you first came on, you said that consider thou art a parent, and I take that to mean, because we come from the same school of light, that just because you didn't birth or see the child, don't mean that you're not that child's father. It doesn't mean that you don't have an obligation or a sense of it. You shouldn't have a sense of
Equal
it.
responsibility to this child. You are accountable to this child just as if you did
It
your
was
thing.
yours. Right. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Miss Panther?
But you know, now I want to touch on this because this is an interesting topic. In my studies, I was asked to find a controversial figure in social media or in politics that nobody really knows about and why this person is interesting type deal, right? And Dr. Umar Johnson was one of the first ones to pop up.
Popped it, yeah.
Absolutely. And so I listened to quite a few of his interviews, and I even went back and watched some of his old lectures. And for the most part, right, I understand, right? But I also disagree with some of his approaches to women, particularly when he suggests that a woman with children and no man should be okay with accepting a married woman's husband on the weekends to be in her home and help her raise her children. I don't agree. I don't
What?
agree.
Hold on, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, the brothers,
wanna-
you know, remember the assignment was to find someone controversial.
Right, but I don't, because I watch a lot of his stuff.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
remember that
yes,
one.
yes, sir. Yeah.
And I just
The
want to let
brothers-
y'all know in the chat that I checked y'all. I hit mute and I still hear the smoke detector.
Oh no, that's me.
battery.
That's me, y'all. That's me. That's me.
So it ain't me.
Yeah, no, that's me. That's me.
Hey, I'm like, dang, because I thought I changed the battery, and I'm looking up like, did I
Hey,
change the battery? And
look.
I had muted, and I said,
I've been changing batteries for the past month and still can't stop the beep. I don't know where it's coming from at this point. For real.
But Dr. Umar
But-
Johnson, though,
Yeah, but,
is
you know,
very
no.
interesting.
Yeah, and now I'm not casting any type of dispersion against the brother because I actually honor the work that he's doing and I appreciate his message, right? It's just so I'm not picking him apart as a person. He's dope and he's doing awesome work in his community. So it will be ultimately my goal to work with him one day in the goal of helping us help us.
Well, that's what we do anyway.
I just don't necessarily agree to that, but not to single him out. He just said it. But I don't agree with the ideal that I, as a married man, right, who has made a vow of commitment, right, a vow of commitment and virtue, and what's the word start with an F? Fidelity.
Fidelity.
To my wife.
I thought you were going to say fortitude.
And, yes. Whom I have children with. She has siblings with children. She has nieces with children, nephews with children. There's a community under my umbrella, right? So I'm supposed to, as the husband of this woman, the leader of this tribe, I'm supposed to take my presence that will surely be missed and supplanted in another woman's house. And my wife should be okay with it because I'm raising someone else's children. No, I don't believe that is what's meant by consider thou art a parent.
No, yeah, absolutely. He took it to a whole nother level. He talking about some concubine. He talking about colonization all over.
Salute to everybody in the live. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to follow me at Dorothy's Son. But that
sure,
right there, it stirred my soul because I've been traveling and I've found myself landed in certain places where the consensus was, I agree with him And I'm wondering, okay, so what traumatic event occurred in your life that brought on your initial fear that is preventing you from being accountable for you and willing to take on the role of accountability for somebody else?
Wow.
So,
Because it's always that underlining condition.
Yes, sir. That
It's
first
deep.
fear, you know,
It's
that
deep.
that first fear that triggered that gene that allowed us to now have this sense of fight or flight in certain situations where we get that sense of something just isn't right, or we get overly excited because of the anticipatory effect of a birthday party or a gift or seeing someone you haven't seen in a long time. This is a genetic response.
Yeah.
It's listen, man, we have to be aware of the environments we allow ourselves to be planted in a literal sense. Because once we are planted, fruit will be produced as a
That's right.
result of us being there.
Come on now. I don't know one cropper who ain't planted something that didn't expect a crop. Come on.
All right, absolutely. Absolutely, man. So I very much honor the brother, but I just didn't necessarily agree with that. And I wanted to make that known for anybody that's on this live, whose live that I was on, who subscribed to that. I mean, you have to
Right.
ask yourself a deeper question. And it's not to cast any dispersion against you either. But reflection is the business of all men and women. So if you blindly accept something and this is your mode of operating, then you need to reevaluate your how you critically think about things. Because listen, man, they say you only get one life, right? I believe you only get one chance to die and experience death, and your body will disintegrate only once.
And this is death.
And this is death,
The chemistry
you
of
know.
life. Come on, come on.
However, every day that we are granted and arise, we have just been given a new opportunity at life. See, we have lived many lives up until this point. I'm not speaking from a Buddhist standpoint or some hocus pocus. I'm talking about the go to sleep and wake up effect. You are not the same today as you was yesterday. Your entire anatomy is different. You have completely evolved or devolved from the person you was the day before. If that does not constitute a new life, I don't know what does. We have cells on our bodies that are falling off as we speak. We
As we
have
speak.
memories in our mind that are being pruned by our brain to make way for new information right now as we speak. So if we're
So
not
that
talking about a new life, I don't know what we're talking about. See, we can have whatever we want. But the question is, what do we want? And once you figure that out, he'll tell you, I used to often tell people, we only want the things that we don't have. Stop wanting to get it.
that's it.
Don't want to do it. Do it. Don't
Do it.
try to do it. Do it. It's that's that simple. Do it. Be
I
a
want to
good
ask you this
man.
question. I want to ask you this question, Dorothy, son. Well, SB and Ben Cook as well, right? Now, us being men, some of us have children mothers, right? That we're no longer in a relationship with. Now, how do we co-parenting when that person, because we men, we have children mothers, they might have a boyfriend that is adverse to you being around. How do we deal with that?
Again, now that's an interesting one, but I'm gonna say me
Whew.
personally, I assert myself in situations. I don't wait for a situation to apply itself to me. I make myself applicable to it. And when it comes
Whew.
to my children, I am unmoved. I am that force that creates power. I'm that wheel that determines the outcome of all situations when it comes to my children. Now, my approach to the guy being in opposition of me, first he would have a reason. And I'm a reasonable dude, even when I'm out of my mind. So he would have a reason. And if his reason is valid in how I treat my children and or their mother, then it's understandable. If I'm disrespectful, I'm always trying to approach her sexually, or if I'm always degrading her and belittling her on her parenting style, or the way I discipline my children is, if not borderline abusive, flat out, outright abusive, then I can respect his position and he's entitled to feel how he feels. Because I'm the weirdo in the situation, not him. But if I am a stand-up guy who just so happened to not be in a relationship with this woman, who has a reasonable relationship with her for the sake of our children, yet his insecurity is so much so that he would try and
Come on now.
prevent me from being a
Come on
father,
now.
then I would have a problem with that
Woo.
and her. And we might have to get
Come
the
on.
people involved so
Okay,
that way
listen.
my children can see me do it the right way.
Call everybody. It's
Absolutely.
going down in the DM. And I ain't talking about the
I'm glad
direct
you.
messages.
You
I'm
know,
glad you
because
said
it can go a
right.
lot of different ways in a situation like that, because it
Can I?
also depends on what type of woman she is. She can't be
Listen, man.
an abused girl who's now a wounded woman still, because she
Which
wouldn't
most
be able
are.
to properly manage that situation,
But most
because
are.
he's her situation when it comes to him being the barrier between me and my children, or a man and his child,
Okay.
because he has to know how to manage that.
Somebody said
Boy,
the okay.
I'm gonna tell you. Sakir that was on point right there. Unexpected question, right? But I'm gonna tell you, I'm triggered. I'm triggered. I'm triggered because okay, like I said, the brother that's the guest speaker of the hour, right? I know him very well. I know him very well personally. Been around his girl, been around his children, slept around him for years. Woke up and went to sleep. He know how I feel about my children, man. And he knows some of the things, y'all, that I done been through with my children. Let me ask y'all a question. Tap the screen, share the live, y'all. Make sure y'all tapping that screen, share the live. Because it's finna get good.
Most definitely.
We having barbershop talk, right?
Hold on. Let me go to breaking news. Go ahead. I hear you.
We haven't, come on, put it on breaking news, man. Put it on breaking news. Y'all tap the screen, share the live. Y'all want me to have some real talk with y'all. Because listen, I'm triggered.
Oh, hey, come on, boy. Hey.
And
Barbershop talking, man.
And listen, because this is things that men go through. Women need to know this. I think most women do have some understanding of this, but in the moment, let's be real, men don't understand, so they don't control their emotions as much as they should.
Really
But women are more in tune with, so they're a little bit more emotionally intelligent when it comes to certain things. Get a woman mad, she be like, all right, I got you. You get a man mad, he might punch a hole in the wall, right? I got a situation going on, and I need y'all advice. Now, like I said, Dorothy's son SB know how I was before me coming back into society, and the situations that was happening with my daughter. Now, SB, you don't know nothing about this one. So my oldest daughter called me and tell me crying. She called me crying yesterday. And I talked to her again. I was almost late to this show. But so she like, this and that. My mom, husband, blah, 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 blah. Going through what they going through. And I'm like, okay. And yeah, my mama, husband, who is that? Somebody got a mute. Or is that the host? Is that the host? No, that's the host. He probably just went outside. But listen, so she say, he arguing with my mama and he's sitting over here calling me B's and H's, right?
Thank you, Granny. Thank you.
Now listen, as I say that, I'm looking at your face because you know who I am. He said, yeah, and she crying while she telling me this. So this just adding insult to injury, right? And she said, and my daughter crazy, she a fight. And so I'm like, dang, what's going on? Now, mind you, my grandbabies is over here.
Mm.
Mind you, this dude is like 46. My daughter is 22.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I just did 18 years in prison. Mind you, I'm from the east side of Detroit. Mind you, my daughter my daughter and my daughter's mom know who I am. So
Mm-hmm.
these are now I'm finna bring it full circle, y'all. Cause that's gonna be a to be continued. We're gonna talk about that on Big Uncle Night. But I'm gonna tell you this. I couldn't talk to her mother at the moment. I had to wait until I calmed down and then, set up a meeting to talk to her mama, which I haven't had yet, but I know how this conversation finna go. And she know what it is,
Hey
but
Jay, how you doing? Welcome in.
this is her husband. So I'm in a similar situation. When you co-parenting, man, and she is SB, one of those broken women who was damaged and became broken. See, some people get broken and they heal themselves to where you can still see some scars. They're a little damaged. They got a few chinks in their armor, but they ain't broke no more. They work again.
Mm-hmm.
This is a woman who was somewhat damaged because of her childhood and became broke. Like, how you just every step of the way things get worse and worse and worse. You go from modeling to doing this to like, whoa, who are you? If you seen this picture today from the picture back then and just the whole everything in between, you'd put your head down and shake your head, right? So in them type of situations, it's almost like, bro, to co-parent in that type of situation where a woman is sitting up allowing for a man to be in a house that her name is on the deed or whatever, but because he paid majority of your bills, you're afraid of that change. You're afraid of being uncomfortable and having to sell your house or whatever you got to do to be able to keep it moving. But you will sit up and
Mm-hmm.
allow a man to call your daughter B's and H's in your house with your grandkids around. Lord have mercy. Give me strength.
See, it's this guy, a European philosopher by the name of John Bradshaw, right? And he he founded a workshop entitled, excuse me, "Healing the Shame That Binds You." See, what we haven't, and this doesn't just apply to women, because men find themselves in those similar settings where they don't have the mental fortitude to do what they would say, step out on faith and just take that first step toward what you want
Change. Right.
out of what you want, right?
Right.
But a part of healing the shame that binds you is not finding all of the faults of others. It is not um, blaming everybody for all of the things that they've done to you, right? When you were a victim of other people. But healing the shame that binds you is when you hold yourself accountable for all of the things that you've done and your role in these things, right?
Come on,
Because
man.
the healing properties of that is this. It gives you the relief in knowing why you feel the way that you feel, and you also got a blueprint on how to move forward. You know, one, what was done to you, and you know who did it to you, right? But the gift is now you understand that you've also done some things based on what was done to you previously, and you allowed yourself to become self-organized
Mm.
to your own thinking. You allow your emotions to manipulate you, and you allowed your thinking to manipulate your emotions. So when we take a step back and look at who we are, so I would encourage women. I've never been a little girl before, again, right? but I have been the children before. And in being the children, I understand that there were some things that took place in my life that I literally had no control over. And even to this day, how I reacted to them, I still resolved that I had no control over those responses because they were new to me. Now, looking back on my life, if I still held the same emotional connection to each of those events, I would be a shadow of the man that I am today because I would still be consumed by it. My woman would be able to walk all over me. My
Talk
friends
to me.
would be easily able to manipulate me and move me and sway me in whichever direction. My children will miss out on the benefits of the growth that they could receive of having a father who wasn't suffering from a psychosis and delusion into believing that he's comfortable in a state of uncomfortability where you can't, it's impossible to be comfortable when
When
you're
you're
bleeding
uncomfortable.
and hurt.
Come on now. Talk to me.
So women need to understand that you don't have to tolerate or accept punishment any longer,
You don't have to mask it.
right? You're
You
not a
don't have to
child
hide
anymore.
it. You don't
No,
have to
right.
ignore
You're
it.
not a child anymore. You don't have to hide who you are anymore. You don't have to be a victim anymore. I'm not saying, go out and expire anyone or do some crazy stuff, but I'm saying is
Stand up.
inspire yourself, sister.
That's right.
You know that you got men like out here like me that's going to champion for you.
Come
I'm
on
going
now.
to do my best and do my part to uphold you on your journey. I'm going to keep the lights on so you can see. I'm going to pave the way so your stilettos don't get muddy,
Talk to me.
So you're going to be
Not the red
fine. So
bottoms.
don't ever think you got to
Ooh.
accept
That is that.
Red
anything
bottoms.
out of a sucker.
Lord have mercy.
Absolutely.
Come on, y'all.
See,
Real
the reason
men
I'm
love women, and you show it in how you treat them, not just yours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Reason,
Yeah.
the
So
reason
let's.
I brought this topic up today, right,
Mm-hmm.
is because we hear through different social medias, right, how us fathers don't want to be fathers, how us men don't want to be men, right, and it's like black women. We have fathers that want to be fathers, that love the fact of being a father, that love giving a child an identity. Because we get our identity from our father. Whether you're a little girl or you're a boy, your identity comes from your father. And it's like, for me, right, personally speaking, I'm in a situation to where I want to see my sons. I call, hey, can I see my sons? Hey, can I come pick my sons up? But based on she's having another dude that has insecurity towards me because he was trying to drill somebody I was drilling, now I can't see my sons. But yeah, I want to be a father. So it's like, hey, how do I co-parenting with somebody that won't let me be a co-parent?
Do your part.
Well, yeah.
Do your
That's
part.
all you can do.
You have to be consistent, even
Yeah.
if this woman now is a part of the distance between. If she
10,000.
becomes a part of it, right? You just have to be
10,000.
consistent because one thing the child is going to witness is and notice is going to be inevitably implanted in their campus that my father wanted to be there. And that makes the difference in the world to children. Having
Yep.
once been an abused and abandoned child myself, I understand and appreciate consistency and
That's
how
it.
important it is to a child, even if you're not able to execute, as long as they see that you're fighting for them.
Yep. And that all comes from that part of their brain that only understands dependency. That's why I often use the phrase that we show adults, but you teach children. See, when somebody get of age, I can't teach you a damn thing. You can't pour new wine in old skin. You know it's gonna burst. Like, only thing I can do is be an example and show you. But with children, they brains is wired like that, so they soaking things up and they seeing it. It's like all they want. Like, I remember, you know what I remember most out of all the traumatic stuff I done been through, right? The things that I can remember most vividly is when my father said he was going to take me to the state fair and never showed up.
See
Or
what
the
I'm
time when
saying?
my father said he was going to show me how to drive And he used to always say, "I'm gonna let you drive, boy." And every time I asked him, he say no. Just the little things like that, or he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Or like if I was in some kind of trouble or jam, that he really wasn't there. He was there when he wanted to be there. Oh, he'd come
Right.
give me a couple $100 every now and then for a birthday or Christmas. I already got money though, but thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for
Right.
that
But
couple hundred, but
who's fighting for me when I'm
right.
a child and I'm being victimized? See, and that's what I'm talking about. In situations like we're describing, see, we come from those backgrounds, and I can tell you for a certainty, my little brother is the consummate man. He is upright, independent, and fearless, and he has accepted his role as a leader and understand his responsibility to fall in humanity. I know these things. See, he will be known by the fruit that he bears, and the world can see it already. But I can say this about some other men, right? You don't fight. You don't fight
Mm,
for your child
mm,
because nobody fought for you.
mm,
See, you will fight your neighbor. You will fight your cousin. You will fight the stranger. You will fight with your woman. You will put a red dot in her eye. You will chip this tooth. You will loosen this one and you will knock that one out. But when it comes to the responsibility, the being that you helped to create, you won't fight to stay in this life. You won't fight to be her father. You won't fight to deliver her those memories that we remember when we was let down in reverse.
Now, I
But you
want
would
to
tell
just
me you a slide. Well, slide on
yeah.
by, sucker.
Right.
and
Get out of the
this,
way for the man that will love those kids and fight for them. If you can't,
Cause they out there.
and I ain't,
now I want to
Obviously.
expound on that, George. SB, I want to
Obviously.
go deeper on that,
listen,
SB,
listen.
because
This is very dear to my heart because uh, Big Uncle Tech, I don't play when it comes to children. You will lose all of the respect that I've ever developed for you in an instance when I see how you treat these children. Mishandle the trust of a child
And that's the
and
easiest
tamper
way.
with their hope. We can't be, he who has been an enemy can never
Can
be a
never
friend.
be a friend. Come on now.
He is an enemy to the cause of uplifting our people. There's no way we can be cool.
At all.
Satan, Lucifer,
Going to and fro, sinking you trying to
right?
devour. Ain't that
Whoever,
something? You just
whoever
sinking
you
who you may
are,
devour.
yeah, get out of the way.
welcome over.
I used to tell people
So,
sometimes it's better if you were asleep still because you wouldn't be in my way.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you woke up, you got in the way. Get out of the way if you don't want to do the work.
Yep.
There's a place for bums and lazy people. You want to be lazy, there's a place for you.
Cause
You
that's
want to be
all.
evil
Hey.
and violent. You want to push illicit substances. They got a place for you.
Hey, for
Get
real.
out of my way.
absolutely, right? And this is the whole point of having this King Barbershop talk, right? So we can really get to the roots of some things. So
Salute,
we can
Father
change the
God.
narrative of some things, right? Now, you said that men wasn't fought for, right? They was left abandoned by their father, right? And personally,
And
my
mothers and grandmothers and aunties.
oh, most definitely, we just dealing with man right now, though. So I remember, right, growing up, not liking my father, having a super disdain towards my father. Why? Because when my mother was telling me about my father, right? So I grew up like, man, I can't. So one day I had a conversation with my father, right? And my father told me something that it was like, I see it now. Because I didn't mature. So what you're telling me, I see it, right? So probably like 3 years before I came home, right? Hey, I want to talk to my daddy. Hey, I want to talk to my daddy. Hey, I want to talk to my daddy. Bro, I was home 6 months. My daddy out of here, expired. It was a whole lot of unanswered questions I had to my father, right? And at this time I was around my sons. And like I said, her dude is insecure because he tried to drill somebody out of the drill. Bro, we gonna keep it playing. You got caught. You feel me? Why are you affecting my relationship with my children, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to court. It's 10 bands in California, 10 bands just to retain him, a lawyer. And it's like people hear that like 10 bands, what? Oh, forget those children, right? Like it's other ways to maneuver in the system to get those children. All you do is file a document. You don't need no lawyer. File a document. Look it up. Research it. We can do everything
And,
else, but we can't
and
research how
all,
to get our children.
right. But you can also, so if there's anybody on this live who may be experiencing something like this outside of if this is actually your story, right? What I would encourage you to do is document your communications, document money spent, time spent, and store these pieces of data that you collect and keep it in a safe place because one day in the event when you actually get before a judge,
Brother
this
Lee.
will be vital information that you can present to the judge to prove that you have been consistent in your efforts to father your children. And again, it will fortify with your children later in life as
Bad.
to
Bad
some,
trap.
yeah, but to an extent, because I got a point that I'm gonna make, but to an extent, what happened with you and your father, right, is it's threatening to happen again with you and your children, right? So
Mhm.
what I want to show you is, right, sometimes just because you don't see change doesn't mean that it's not occurring. A paradigm shift has already occurred in the lives of you and these children, right? This podcast, right? This podcast represents a worldwide view that will be broadcast to as many nations and countries and individuals who are willing to watch this, right?
Speak that stuff
Mhm.
then. Speak it
The
into it.
world will know.
Woo. Come on.
And you're giving someone hope and inspiration. Sometimes, man, I ain't gonna say something. Men need a pattern because we like to follow and not lead. So the world need leaders. And to be a leader, you guys to accept that you might have to suffer. Did you know that Mahatma Gandhi, right, in
Come on.
encouraging his people to nonviolently protest against the Japanese, right, he knew that there was a great likelihood that not only he could pass, but so could millions of others, right? Because he ain't saying that I'm willing to just say, forget about all this paper. But what he's saying is this: I understand that whether you stand up or not, this is what could happen. Stand up. If it's going to happen anyway,
Let
if
it
the
happen.
children will be extricated from your home and from your custody care for temporarily, then you must still stand up and
Yeah.
protest.
Fuck 'em in. Mhm.
Come
Like
on. You
for
got
real.
to.
Absolutely. And sometimes it sounds or
Transformational.
seems more drastic than what it is, or sometimes we
Yeah.
oversimplify it when it's actually more complicated than what
Yeah.
it is. Because anytime you have a child, even just one child, it it severely complicates things because you have to be delicate in how you approach it. Because everything that's occurring in this environment is impacting this child. This child is being changed
Yeah.
every day that this environment is allowed to be fed and nourished. So at some point, somebody is going to have to decide what's really best for my children. And sometime as a man, what could be best for your children is for you to take a step back and breathe and reevaluate your contribution to the controversy, if any at all. And there's always some fault that we can take in every situation. We're not completely absolved of wrong, and in my opinion, in any situation. So that right there could potentially help. Not saying that's the answer, but that could potentially help defuse and particularly preserve the trust that children have in outcomes in people. We don't want to damage their hope because it changes how they view the world and the people in it. So somebody has to decide who's going to be the protector of their trust and hope, and how do I do it?
Right. And that's the big part right there. The how do I do it? Because a lot of times, and that's why I'm so glad that, us men have started to embark on this journey where we're no longer judgmental. We got to get out of that, right? And I know I hear a lot of women say that on this app too. Why are we always going at each other? And men have our way of going at each other too, right? Let's come together. That's why it's so imperative for us to bring these platforms, because we not only want to talk about what the problem is, we not only want to just address the problem, but we want to actually diagnose and prescribe a medication that we can apply to create healing. We ain't talking about nothing on the outside. We talking about healing from within.
Right.
Because trauma is the biggest threat, because it's always one thought away. Trauma and what's the word I'm looking for? Trauma.
Well, I would say in fear, because you experience fear based on a trauma, a past trauma, a current trauma, or the anticipation of a future trauma.
And I think that
And
might
this
be
is
the
what
worst.
keeps us from acting in most cases.
And I'm glad you said that too.
That might be the worst.
At this juncture, let's take a brief break to fill up, hydrate.
Let's
Thanks,
go.
everybody.
Tap the
Salute,
screen, y'all. Hey, look,
salute.
we at 15,000.
Run them
I promise
likes
y'all,
up.
we can get to 20
Share
in
this
like 5
live.
minutes. If
But
everybody
most
on here just give like
importantly,
a
share
30-second
the
tap.
energy. Share the energy. I'm getting
Let's
real
go.
good vibes from y'all. Keep it coming. Because see, we
Let's
can
go.
use it. See, as leaders, we can use this energy because we need y'all in order to do this work if y'all want us to do it.
Let's go. Come on. And guess what? The work is only going to get done by
I feel
it's that barbershop talk. Hey, it's that barbershop talk.
That barbershop talk with the kings come on through.
It's that barbershop talk. And make sure y'all tapping the screen, y'all. Share the live.
It's that barbershop talk. What you gon' do? That barbershop talk with the kings come on through.
To the deeper though, what's going on? Don't from the church, you still up in your home. Sometimes you be feeling afraid and alone, but we here to encourage you. Gotta be strong. We get to the deep root of what's going on. We still up in your home. Logging the TikTok right now.
Share with all your friends, Hey, let's go, baby. Hey, once again, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for supporting KBST. If any chance, by any chance, you get the opportunity, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, KBST.
Make sure y'all do that subscribe. Listen, y'all, one subscription is 3 candy bars. 3 candy bars a month. You're going to get all this smoke. You're going to get all these men coming up here speaking this truth. You're going to get all of this gospel. Y'all know we hitting y'all with the gospel. This barbershop talk.
Hello.
We ain't holding y'all up. We in a safe space, y'all. Ain't no hating here. It's all participation. Everybody, we need y'all to just contribute whatever you can contribute.
Hey, Jada.
Oh, Jada,
this is we trying to go real big, Jada. We try to do this real big, Jada. We gotta have intermissions, commercial breaks, promoting.
Hey, that's my Jada West. Y'all make sure y'all follow Jada West, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all follow her. Real dope person.
Jada.
Brand strategy. Y'all make sure y'all follow her.
Women, at any time you guys want to come ask questions to anybody in the panel, a special guest, man, likewise, come on up. Let's talk about it. Let's find a solution to these things. Let's deal with these things.
And these women think they sitting up in here. They sitting up in here. They sitting down in them comments. They listening. They paying attention. Hey, come on, y'all. Hey, that's how they be in the barbershop too. They son be over
give me 2 more minutes.
Like they reading.
Give me 2 more minutes. I'm on daddy detail. Give me 2 minutes.
See what I'm saying? They be over there acting like they reading the magazines that was on that table, but they really looking up.
I need to get Jay up.
It's safe in the comments. It's safe everywhere. You heard what I said. It's a safe spot. It's safe everywhere, Team Marie.
Jay be running.
Nah, Jada don't be
Just
running. She be running sometimes. I be catching her though. I catch her when I can. I'll slide on Jada real quick. She be like, "Oh, thanks, dog." I send them gifts. I'm gone.
I'm gonna catch it right now.
Man, listen, how y'all feeling? Hey, listen, real quick intermission,
My
right?
Wi-Fi is tripping.
While we on this intermission, I can't say too much, y'all, because I
Can
don't
you hear
know
me
what
now?
happened. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, nah, not again, y'all.
I can
Not
hear you.
again. You can hear me? Oh my God. What you done did. Can y'all hear me in the comments?
All right, y'all. All right.
Can you hear me?
It ain't easy it ain't easy walking it while you talking it. I be telling people it's two types of people, right? And there's a rare unicorn
Walk it
third,
like it,
right?
talk it.
You
Walk
got
it, walk it like
you
it, talk
got
it.
doers and you got talkers. And you
That's
got
right.
that rare few that can do it while they talking.
It's hard to do it while you're talking, ain't it?
Man,
The stage is up.
Jada! Hey,
salute to the
okay
sister.
then, okay then.
Got her. Yeah. Let's go. You thought you was about
Okay.
to run, Jada, huh? Yeah. Get on up here.
Hey,
Hey.
hey. Walk it like I
A
talk it.
Hey.
request.
Walk it.
I was just gonna listen.
Ain't that
Hey,
something?
cause
Oh, that's
look,
what it is?
I'll
Okay,
try,
so
I'll try to
Jada just
get you
gave
up
us the
here.
blueprint. Come on, y'all. Give it up one more time for Jada.
Thank you.
She just gave us the blueprint. So all you got to do, Shakir, is request them. She said if you request
Hey,
two of them, they'll
I'm
come
on
up.
it. I'm on
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I am
Hey,
on
thank you. See,
it.
that's why that's my favorite brand strategist. You know what I'm saying? She be giving me brand strategist ideas and she don't even be knowing it, y'all.
I definitely wasn't trying to give no blueprint.
Let's go.
We up here now.
Ocean blue. Okay. We talk. Okay.
Hey, how
Oh,
you
we good.
doing?
How you doing?
There we go. We
Oh,
getting
he
it
got
up here. Let's
all
talk
okay
about
then. They in these
yeah.
boxes, y'all. They in these boxes.
Hey, ain't no more just sitting in the comments and just soaking up the game. Come on, we gotta talk about these things now.
Cause we need to know what we doing wrong, y'all. What's up, Posey Wozy? We need to know what
Posey,
we
how you
doing
doing?
wrong.
Welcome in.
We need to know if we need to tighten something up. Cause we giving y'all all the game. Now we don't need y'all to be able to use that. You know, some of y'all use that, trying to manipulate and stuff like that.
Now, my
Oh,
phone.
boy.
Y'all hear the man in the background. He
Now
on
we
daddy
good?
duties. He making a bottle right. Listen, right now he making a bottle. He got ravioli on the stove. Everything. It's going down. Y'all know his daddy's throw some ravioli or something on real quick.
All right.
Child of God say she just observing.
My
All right.
5-year-old say now.
That's five there for real.
My 5-year-old say I can do my live now.
Sugar
All
bacon.
right. All right.
Okay, as long as you got the approval for the 5-year-old, man, we gotta get the approval.
Listen,
So,
that's all that
Yeah.
ladies,
matters.
ladies,
Sugar
how
baby,
can we
hey.
better co-parent that man? What can we do better?
What can we do better, women? I know they got a lot. They better have a lot to say about this. All this stuff I be hearing on this app. It better be a whole bunch
Ladies,
of
y'all go
conversation.
first. I done had some drama. My neighbor's house done caught on fire.
Oh my
And
God.
Is everybody
the
okay?
fire department and all of that other kind of stuff. And one of my neighbors got a baby. And I was
Oh
walking her
man.
and her baby around. And I just went upstairs, 3 flights of stairs, dropped her and her baby back off at their house. Because the fire's over. Somebody was cooking some chicken and left it. Like, left the house. Frying some chicken. Who does that? But you
Wow.
ladies
Somebody
go.
that
Let me catch my breath.
somebody that been to the dispensary and then they put the chicken on and forgot all about the chicken was on.
But
They done left the whole house and they gonna come back sober as hell. Like, oh my God.
Okay,
most
and they chicken.
importantly,
They in
everybody's
trouble
okay though,
too.
right?
The
Yeah,
ashes.
did they say nobody got hurt or nothing, did they?
No, they just busted the door open. I heard them kicking the door in, and I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, "What the hell?" And when looked out the window, and all of the fire department was there, and opened the door, and they was running up the stairs and shit. I said, "That's what that was." So, yeah, no, I just need to catch my breath. So,
Okay.
ladies, go ahead.
Okay.
Take your time. Make sure you drink some water. Take your time. Rising Black Kings, man. Welcome. So, ladies, my question to you, right? Once again, I want each one of you guys to answer this question. As black men, how do we better co-parent? For the women is in the comments as well. How do we better co-parent as black men?
I think for like speaking to what you were talking about earlier about like it being hard to actually like get that time with your children and to spend with them, I feel like I think it helps to at least see that there's some effort being shown because with me and my son's father that we had to have a conversation, like a really tough conversation a couple of years ago, because while I knew like he was never like a deadbeat or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying, but he just his priorities were just not in the right place. And one of the things that I told him is that, like I really need to see you try. Like I need to see you try because, you know, he would be like, well, you know, I got this going on and I got work and I got this happening and it's a lot going on in my life. And I'm like, you know, I get that, but it's a lot going on in everybody's life, but this child is your responsibility. And, I felt like, you know, if I straight up you're making excuses because you have the ability, you have the capability to reach out to him at least for a phone call. You know, like bare minimum is a phone call. And I don't even know when you're going to call him. We don't know when to expect you. I haven't heard when you're going to see him again, when you're going to try to see him. And this situation was an instance where I made it difficult for him to see his child. You know, if he called me, he's like, hey, I want to see him. And that's him in the background now. If you want to see him, you can come and see him. All you gotta do is call me or text me or whatever, and we'll figure it out. But this is the fact that you at least gotta try. Like there has to be something, and it may not be like to the extent that you want it to be, and it may not be to the magnitude that you want it to be. Because I know like his hope is to be able to actually take him for a while. Like he wants to be able to have him, you know, and be able to like not have to come back and forth to see him, which I would love. But where he is right now, he can't provide a solid space for our son. And so right now, this is what it has to be. So I was like, in the meantime, you know, you got to figure out what you can do to show up.
But what do you mean by solid space? Because sometimes, cause I respect your position, right? But do you think your son would really care where Pops is at when it comes to him being able to spend some time with him, or is it just your impression that space?
Yeah, let me explain what I mean to you because it's literally like he doesn't have the resources to work and also have him being taken care of. So like I don't want to get too like far into like our business, but like there was an instance where like childcare was a problem. So the way it is right now, my family is here. So if there's something going on where I need to leave my son, always watch him. Where he is right now, he doesn't have that kind of support. So it would literally just be him and my son. And so the way that it is right now, he doesn't have that help where he can go to work and my son is taken care of. And the expenses would be too high for him to be able to manage it right now. Right. So like he's just
not in a place. I only ask though because men need to know what that means when we hear it, right? Maybe it's expressed differently for, you know, through the mouths of different women, but the sentiment is ultimately the same. And what happens is we as men have a tendency to misinterpret your intentions when you use certain vernacular, right? But that's not your fault that you speak particularly well. You know, that's the fault of the dude to be able to understand it. But that's why I ask, because it's important for us to understand what you guys' position is in order for us to be able to respect it and improve on it. So that way that's no longer a barrier.
I agree. And that was one of the things that I had to be very specific with him about because he would ask me, he was like, well, you know, like, what do you mean by that? Like, what does he need? Because he didn't understand because as long as my son's been born, I've pretty much had primary custody of him. And so there's a lot of things that go into it that he just didn't get. Like, he just didn't get it because he didn't have those responsibilities. And so I had to be very specific about what he needed to have so that I would feel comfortable with my son being there. So I told him that if you don't have childcare, you're gonna have to bring him back because you don't have you got to go to work, and we have to make sure that he's taken care of because he's not old enough to be by himself. And so like that was one thing where I was like I had to be very specific. Like if you don't have this in place, you need to bring him back so that we can make sure that he's taken care of and you're able to do what you got to do. And so he heard that, he took that information and he figured out how he could get some more money coming in, which I was really proud of him for doing that. And then the other thing that he did is that he set up the times that he comes to get him around his vacation. So he'll only take him when he has vacation, and then when he has to go back to work, he'll bring him back. So like it ended up being a really good situation, but we had to have that conversation because it was like you just can't not show up at all. So
And most domestic issues between men and women could literally be resolved if both parties took the initiative. If the man took the initiative to ask for clarification and the woman was willing to offer it. See, conflict resolution isn't the responsibility of one party. It's a duality. It's the law of reciprocity involved. So I want to commend you for being patient enough with him, because our lack of understanding where y'all coming from, because men, we are sometimes hardwired and have to rewire ourselves from this position, but we are hardwired to be solution oriented. We want to solve the problem. So if you keep telling me in our mind the problem in different ways, but to me it's the same problem, I need you to clarify so that way it's no longer a problem. And in most cases, neither party is capable of expressing themselves, and this is the deterioration of the relationship. And this is why children suffer within and outside of the households. The environment now has an opportunity to get a hold of your child because they are vulnerable due to needs that they have that are not being met. So I salute you and the brother for coming to a reasonable understanding and conclusion that benefits both you and the child. So that's dope.
yeah, that's what let's let the next person go.
I agree with that, man.
Later, you
Said,
think
what you
you
got
could
for
get
us?
one?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What could you add on to that, please?
Welcome in.
Hello, everyone. Well, I only have a little small piece to add because I don't have children, so I have not been in a co-parenting situation. However, I can speak from the guise of my parents who did not have great communication at all while I was growing up. And when I was about 25, 26 years old, it was the first time I ever had a meal with both of my parents together. And we were out at a restaurant, and I had a conversation with my parents about how their lack of communication affected me growing up. Um, and so I told them that I actually really used their lack of communication to my personal advantage. And I played both of them for years. And I told them all about it. I said, I played y'all tremendously. I said, because I knew that you weren't going to talk to each other. So I could do with one and say with one whatever I wanted to, because I knew that no matter what, because of your personal grievances and your personal issues with the other one, you were not going to go back and talk to the other person about whatever it is I needed or I said I wanted. Um, and so, needless to say, my parents, they looked at me like crazy, like, what? You played us for all these years? I said, I did. I said, but this is a lesson for you all. I said, because you can't get mad at me, because the reality of it is, if you had been talking, I would have never got away with the things that I got away with. So for me, my only advice is to whatever your personal issues are with the other parent, just put your personal issues aside for the betterment of the child. And you need to communicate about that. If you can't communicate about whatever it is your issues are from whatever happened in your relationship or other things that went down, your communication should at minimum just be about the child or the children that you have.
Mhm. Thank you. T. Marie, welcome in.
Hey,
What do you have
so
for her?
mine would be like, don't make your presence an option. You know, like we have to show up regardless of how we feel, whether we're sick whether we got something going on in life, whether, I mean, I have been close to a mental complete breakdown, but still got kids on my shoulders because what am I going to do? And my kid's father makes it an option on what he chooses to participate in and what he doesn't choose to participate in. It should never be like, well, just handle that, or, you know, whatever the situation is. Like, it should not be an option. If we face in a situation, whatever comes up with our child, it should be us taking care of whatever needs to take care of our child, not whenever the sacrifices, if the sacrifice is too much, well, I don't got it, or I can't do it, I can't, like, excuses don't get it done because it still got to be done.
Facts. And that goes back to the consistency factor. Because above all things, one thing I can say about children, because I used to be one, and I think we all can attest to this. When it comes to our parents, it really doesn't matter how much money they have, especially if the other parent doesn't live in the house. It's about being able to just be around that individual, and knowing that this person will be always accessible to me. So I agree that accessibility thing is crucial to the development of the child. And the reason why I speak so heavily on the development of the child, I've worked in the field with individuals who deal with intellectual and developmental disabilities, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, you name it, people who have interest in self-explorations. And I'm also currently a few classes shy of earning my bachelor's in community and human services. I facilitated and wrote workshops within the Department of Corrections in Michigan, where I mentored other individuals. And since I've been home, mentoring at-risk youth and adults and coaching parents.
Now hold on, you ain't finna.
Okay.
No, you ain't finna just skip that. Let's get
Oh
like,
no,
nah.
come on with it. But I speak so heavily on the child's development because a lot of times as parents, what we don't realize during the first 3 years, our children are learning more than they will learn at any other point in their life. By the time that they are 6 years old, their brains are 90% of what is going to be in adulthood, right? So they're literal sponges of their environment, right? They're acquiring all of the skills and knowledge that they're going to need when they become adolescents, then adults, where they no longer have to acquire skill, but learn how to use that which they've acquired. So I'm saying all that to say this: as the role models, right? The examples to the children in your household, whether you're a parent, a cousin, or an auntie, how you display your character is crucial to the development of that child, whether it's yours or not. Because if you're a straight up fool, for lack of a better way to describe it, and you like to go to people's houses and show your behind, you the loudest person in the room, you're very obnoxious, and all, the child is learning from that behavior also. And a lot of times what happens is the child will go home and begin to mimic some of these behaviors. So we have to be, as adults, how we present ourselves, but we also have to be mindful of the other children that we introduce our children to because of their exposure to other behaviors. So we have a heavy responsibility as parents. And as a man, I consider my role as equivalent to that of the mothers, if not more crucial, because it is my job to raise this child. It is her job to teach me how to nurture the child in a way that I am not impeding on her role as the parent, but it is my job to lead this child in the way that which he or she should go. My daughters rely on me every day to be the mirror of expectations for their future, of what they perceive a man should be like, be it a brother, cousin, friend, or romantic partner, professor, or a boss, or whatever. So my role is crucial even in that of my daughter when it comes to raising her. And we just have to be more mindful, literally, of what we present to these children, especially when they're going through these crucial developmental phases, and we have to educate ourselves as to what these phases look like. and what age brackets are impacted and what learning behaviors and or skills should your child have developed by this point. See, you can't send your child to school to learn their ABCs. You have to teach them beyond that before even Head Start. But you have to understand their developmental process and know what you're exposing them to. So I just like to highlight this all the time. I salute women. I encourage you guys to be more assertive. I encourage you guys to, I mean, there was a conversation that women shouldn't approach men. Absolutely. If that's who you are, and that's what you know,
Yeah.
get to know it. Don't allow the fears of someone else impede on your future and potential happiness.
Right.
Likewise with your children. Don't let your lack of knowledge, insecurities, and impatience with the mother or father impact your child in such a way that he or she grows up with an inability to communicate on an interpersonal level without creating a conflict. You know, we how many children, I can't even tell you how many children every day, and this is why I wanted to go live. I need help in the mission of saving us.
Come on now.
We are losing our children pretty much at the rate in which that they are being born. For as many children that are born, we are losing just as many, be it to the dirt or to the concrete jungle or to illicit substances or corrupted thinkers and individuals in the communities. We have a role, and I salute women for the past 50 plus years, without a doubt, carrying the weight of every so-called black man, Negro, colored person, nigga, homie, dog, whatever he called himself, a slider, 100. I salute you sisters for holding us up until I was ready to help you, baby. Now you can rest some. You can focus on what you really are interested in life. And I will continue this for you. I got
Hold
you.
on, hold on. I gotta do something for that one, man. That was just
And
powerful.
Come
listen,
on.
hold that.
I had to. Thank you, man. Thank you. Ocean Blue, what do you have for us?
Okay. Well, on my side, I had the infamous. I don't want to help you with the kids because I don't have access to you anymore.
Weaponized.
And we did that up until 2023, maybe January, February. We had that going on. Some things had to happen. I had to take it there before it really clicked to him that you don't have access to me. You still have access to those kids. Mind you, my children are adults. My kids are 23 and 20.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. It's like the one thing that guys don't want women to be able to really have solid validity and what do they call it? Affirmation or confirmation that guys really will make your life hell if they don't have access to you. They will truly abandon the kids if they don't have access to you. Well, I have a phenomenal relationship with my daddy, so something in me just would not let that die. I was like, I will fight you, for my freedom until the dirty death, but you gonna be a daddy to these kids because they like you, they love you, and they want to be with you. The kids didn't give up. I didn't give up on that. He gets it now. He's so much better. But shit, it took 20 some odd years before it just really clicked.
You said something that's powerful. You said you don't have access to me. You have access to these children.
You do.
And and that's very ironic because during the time I was courting my fiance, right? In casual conversation, we'll have some deep conversations, and I would say, I just want you to know that I stake no claim to your person. You are in control of your body and how you present it to me, right? And I reinforced this and I fortified this in her mind because I don't know the shadows of her past, right? But I do understand that even as a young man, I had the tendency to take advantage of opportunities when it came to the fair sex, right? And so I carried some of that. Remember, in healing the shame that binds you, you own up to your role in whatever the situation may have been and how you may have impacted somebody else. So I wanted to change the narrative as it related to her and assure her that if you have ever been transgressed against before me, as it relates to your physical person, you can trust and sleep peacefully in knowing that I would not violate that trust in the sanctity of your body. A lot of times, men enter into romantic relationships with women with the automatic assumption that you have somehow just gained ownership of her person just because she was willing to share with you portions of her heart. The portion of her heart that she gave you is not the totality of her body. So you own neither. And men need to understand that. And this will allow for a more successful and communicative relationship and a
Yeah,
more healthy environment to procreate. She
I
said
agree.
it took the brother 30 years practically to get it. But the fact that he got it is commendable. But the tragedy for the current generation and the progeny that will follow is that you do not own her. You respond. You control your body. You don't attempt to control hers. That's out of your purview. Unless your abilities extend beyond the great universal God, men, leave that alone. That's just like trying to tell a woman how to birth a child. Leave that alone. You don't know and have no in-depth knowledge as to what that process is like. The metamorphosis and the torture that this woman's bodies go through as her bones crack and expand. Leave that
Putting life,
alone,
putting
man.
a life on the line, literally.
Yes. So I salute
See,
women again. See, y'all can take y'all heels off or put them back on. Retire the Uggs. Get your heels back on. You can style now. You got men
put
out here
on
working
that,
for y'all.
Hey, throw some 6 inch
put
heels
on
or
your
something, man.
red dress.
Hey, hey, look who we got, Big Unc. We
I
got
see.
the one
Oh,
and only
Hey,
Jay.
listen, hey, some y'all. Hey, you know what? Nikki, baby. Okay, she in the house too.
yeah,
Okay, I
good
see her. I
game.
see her. Listen, I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of jealous, but it's
Hey,
KBST, so I'm involved too. So okay, I accept it.
Say
hey,
hi.
don't feel like
Say
that, man.
hi.
She's supporting the cause, brother.
Say
Oh,
hi.
hi, beautiful.
Hey, there go my little niecey.
See,
Jay,
you know the role of a father,
order us with
man.
the wisdom.
This is what it look like when you ain't playing.
When you ain't
All right,
playing no
As
role,
it
you get to
should.
say hi
except for the
too.
father role.
Say hi in Spanish. Hola. They can't see you. Hola.
Hola.
All right,
Hola,
baby.
Okay.
Okay,
¿cómo
okay.
estás?
All right.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you for sharing your daughter with the world, man. With
Oh,
KBST, I
absolutely.
thank you.
This is their world.
Jay, what you got for us?
Okay, so what's the question
Put
again?
on the movie.
Which I want to know.
So the question is, oh, there you go.
How can we be
She,
better at co-parenting as black men? What can we do better?
Um, you don't have to bring every woman you're talking to or dating around the children until you know for a fact it may be a long-term situation.
Hmm.
Because sometimes the mother is not jealous of the girl. Sometimes it's a means of protection when it's consistently always a new person. So at some point, it's like, how many, people do my children need to meet? Or even if it's, so say you haven't seen your kids in a while or whatever. Like for me, I'm long distance now because I moved to a different state or whatever. So if you're seeing them every couple of months, and fine, you want to bring a new girl because whenever you have a girl, she has to meet your kids. Whatever, that's your call. But if you haven't seen your kids in 3 months, it's not going to hurt you if the girl say, you know what I mean, in the hotel for the pickup. And like, you know what I mean, at least like half an hour, the kids just see daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they just need daddy. They're still going to meet her, spend time, but the priority is time with the children versus, she has to meet them to and bond immediately. It's still always going to be you and the kids first when you're bringing in like a bonus parent, but you still have to make sure you're establishing that bond with your children. It's like for me, I've been divorced. I lost count, y'all, because I wasn't even count when I was married. But it's been a while, whatever it is. My youngest is 6, and I left. I tracked it. And honestly, my kids have met 4 girls. So when I encounter somebody, they might be like, "Oh, why she not like? I can't do it no more. I'm meeting too many of y'all. All I could do is say hey, and here's a diaper bag, and give you the stare, let you know like my kids ain't don't try my kids and move on. I can't entertain every single person you bring around if you're being so inconsistent. So sometimes it's not a matter of people being jealous or anything. It's just give us something to respect, if that makes any sense. Like give me something to respect, and then I could, we can go ahead and build bonds or do whatever. But it's bigger than me. It's like it's not fit to your children. So sometimes it's not that they're jealous that they want you. They just want to make sure the person is going to be around long term or whatever, because it's going to affect your children.
I
Thank
get
you.
it.
Thank you. Brown eyes, what you got for us?
Yes, hello everybody. Excuse me.
Nice.
I want to say this because my kids are grown, and because they're grown, they still need their father. And I shouldn't have to keep telling grown men to be there for their children. It doesn't matter their age, whatever. You never stop being a parent. So for my kids, I had to even let them know, even though I don't have much to say anymore because y'all can make that choice or decision to have that relationship. But they're gonna miss out. So don't come back later when things are going good and all of a sudden you want to be a daddy. You always going to be a father. It takes, I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry, my head is so full of cold. To be there for your kids, especially girls, because I got 2 girls, and they leave an impression on them as their father. So they tell me, like, look, if you're gonna be there. Can't be half stepping. I can't be their mother one day and be their mother and stop being their mother the next day. So if you're not gonna have that relationship, let them know up front, and then we'll go from there. And I even got my kids counseling. And that's another thing, and I recommend that for anybody when they're going through these type of situations. When I went through a divorce, I got my kids counseling because we're not going through this by ourselves. Kids feel the effects of these things, and people fail to realize that. They might not talk to you, but trust and believe me, they got feelings. They're going through some stuff, and they really need to express it. Whether it be talking to somebody or write it down, do what they need to do so later on in life it won't affect them as much. Because working with kids, I understand. I know. I've seen it. And I see the effects of what happens when children are in the middle of a bad divorce, a bad split up, or even being used as pawns with their mom or dad. So that's why I told my kids that even if they didn't want to go, we went anyways. And to this day, they're doing so much better. And like when my daughter's father, like I said, he's just got out of prison not too long ago. This man never got counseling. He just jumped into a whole marriage. And I told his wife, I said, honey, I feel for you because he shouldn't even jump into a marriage when he ain't even right in his own mind. And my daughter and her had a good relationship until he got into, I think he was jealous because she got along with her. And I told them, I don't have nothing. As long as you treat my kids okay, I don't get mad at you. I'd rather for y'all have a relationship. And I'm not back and forth. I'm not into drama. I don't like that. I'd rather for kids to meet someone that's going to be in their life that they can get along with so they don't have to be more drama and more mess. So I understand what everybody is saying. I'm there now, but I'm kind of glad my kids are grown where they can have that choice, that relationship or not.
Well, I agree with you. I got my kids counseling right after the divorce too. We did that for about a year, and they're boys. That helped them tremendously. It helped them so much. So they're able to express the way that women constantly say we want men that are emotionally intelligent and expressive and can use their words and verbalize what they feel and what they think and stuff. They're able to do that, and I'm so glad that I did that when they were younger and took them through that. And then a couple of times, throughout their life, I set them up with counseling, and they have a counselor now. If they want to go, that person is on call, on deck, ready for them whenever they want to go. But I'm with you, Brown. I had to. I'm glad I did that. That is a very good thing for the kids. It started with play therapy, is what they called it in the beginning, and then goes into regular counseling as they get older. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for everybody for sharing. Um, Anybody having final comments, questions, or concerns?
I just want to say this before I drop. We should never play parents against parents in the home. And I know as Black people, we always say whatever stays behind closed doors stays in the house. That should be a no-no. We should allow your kids to express themselves. Let's know what's going on, have conversations. If we can talk to them about knowing these songs and know what the latest style and everything, we should have a real serious conversation about what they're feeling, what's going on in these homes as well. I'm a big advocate about that. Been through abuse, and I know how it is not to be able to talk. So more conversation should be had in these homes. Children understand, like you said, they learn very young, and they really like they love talking. They love telling your business. So have conversations. Shouldn't be ashamed. I talk to my kids real young about sex because I want them to
Mhm.
understand certain touches, no touches, what is comfortable, what is not. So we should never be embarrassed, never be ashamed. Always have a conversation because you could never find out what your kids are going through or what's happening. And I love this because we need more conversations like this so fathers and mothers can understand. We can have a good, healthy relationship with all this back and forth and talk to each other, not yelling, not fussing, and let kids see, okay, I can't put mom and dad against each other because what we all on this together. We got one bond, and mom and dad is not going to play. So I can't say this and say that because they're going to get me. So yes, I love this and I just commend it. And you guys have a great day.
Hey, thank
Thank
you.
thank you.
She
Appreciate
didn't do
you.
it on purpose.
I want to say
Uh,
this
I
before I
wanted to
drop.
eat it.
I want to
Oh,
salute y'all
you
for
can't even tell
this
me.
topic.
Get that food
Phenomenal
card and get
topic.
it.
But I also want to say that y'all give each other some grace, or give yourselves some grace, not each other. Give yourself some grace, because parenting is a job that you literally don't start until you become a parent. There's no class really for it. There's no parenting book on it. It is literally learned through experience on the job, that one day at a time. That's all you got. So give yourself some grace.
Absolutely.
There's no way to be a perfect parent. You're gonna make mistakes. There's things you're not gonna know how to do. You're gonna need people to tell you, ask you, and stuff. And that's it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Queen
And
Blue.
it's
I want
always a
to.
pleasure to have
Oh,
conversations.
I want
okay,
to share
okay.
something.
Salute. But look, I want to reiterate what the
Wait,
sister
can you hear
said
me?
about the children being able to
Good.
talk to you.
I hear
We
you.
ought to make ourselves
I'll wait.
undeniably safe places for our children. Ought to understand that under no circumstances are they to feel as if we're not a safe place for them to come to in the event that something outside of what they know was supposed to happen had happened to them. Even if they suspect and they're not sure, children should know that it's okay to come to
Right.
mother or father, mommy or daddy, or both, and express themselves freely without fear of judgment or punishment. So I just want to throw that out there. I agree, and I commend the sister for bringing that
Right.
up. That is a very
Yeah.
important point to make.
No matter how big or small, like, let me know. Because they may
Absolutely.
not, they may not know.
Jada,
I wanted to add that I think that it's important for us to learn how to be patient with each other, and to forgive one another. I don't think that like we talk about that enough, especially if you had like, a rocky relationship with the co-parent, and you have a lot of things that have like kind of like built up over the years, and you're trying to I guess like like move forward in a positive direction, but maybe there's still a lot of things that you're harboring, like resentment and bitterness, and just I guess like a fear of whether or not this person is going to be any different or any better. And I think that as long as you're making a commitment to try to co-parent with one another, it's important for us to forgive what has happened, and know that like while the progress may seem really slow, because again like we're doing this over many years of raising these kids together, and so there's a lot of time that has to go into actually growing and changing and developing. And so that's just the thing that I would add is like are areas where you haven't forgiven that parent, and do that, just release it so that y'all can move forward, because I've seen a lot of things, I've seen a lot of growth when I decided not to be resentful towards my son's father for certain things. Like when I released it, I was able to actually talk to him better and more effectively, and that forgiveness was really like a release for me and freedom for me, and it has made our relationship a lot less like tumultuous, even though we still have our things that they're not perfect, but it's just I can see the progress from when we first started this thing. So the forgiveness part is just you're not going to be able to have a successful relationship with them if we're not forgiving each other, and like checking it constantly, especially when things come up where it's like a really big blow up, or y'all had a really big argument, or something really bad has happened. Like check that and see where you see how you're feeling about it, and forgive them for it, let it go, so that for the sake of yourselves and for your children, y'all can still continue on to have a healthy relationship.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, you got some final words?
Hold on.
Let me go real quick
Um,
before that men speak. Real fast. I'm sorry.
yeah,
We just
go
knocked
ahead.
it
Go
out.
ahead. Go ahead.
Whoever
Go ahead, Jay.
like is still advocating, still fighting to see their kids, please don't give up. Don't give up. Just know you don't worry about that. The other part, like she said, forgive. Just focus on your baby. Whether it's a girl or a boy, focus on your baby. Even if the child is 17 years old, focus on your baby. Because when all that time fly by, and God forbid you have to wait till they're adults to reconnect, all they want to know is, did you try? Did you care? You know what I mean? So just focus on your baby. Let all that other stuff go. When you talk to the co-parent, don't bring up, oh, what happened last week? Look, right now, focus. All you see is your baby. Like that's the priority, and don't give up, because we do need our black father. So keep on.
SB, sing your beer, SB. There you go. Right. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, can't have you out there looking bad, my brother.
You almost made it through the whole segment. But yeah, no, you're right, Jay. And I appreciate all the words of everybody coming up on this panel. I just want to say that, parenting, it's a technique and style, right? You have to understand who you co-parenting with. But before you can understand who you co-parenting with, you got to understand how you move and operate. You have to get all that up under you. Get yourself gathered before you can even really be a great co-parenter, because it's gonna be rocky as I don't know what in the beginning. But I think if you study yourself and understand the different methods and techniques and try to get these outside helps, if you're not right yourself, then you might want to get counseling. You might want to take a parenting class. You might want to do something to further the education of how to better deal with and understand the psychological, or just the psyche of a child, especially a child. Man, look, this barbershop talk, this real stuff, this really could go on, right? We got so much to talk about, but you know, we gonna save that for another show. So we not I'm not gonna even get off into it real deep, but I appreciate all y'all for coming, man. We love y'all. KBST, man. This is a great platform. Shakir, You're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. We on our way. Let's get the word out. Let's really push for these types of conversations and these type of solutions. Let's help each other pull together resources for these solutions. And I appreciate all y'all. Those are my final words. And I yield.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. First and foremost, shout out to SB. Once again, thank you for gracing us with your wisdom, your vulnerability. Allow us to see you act as a father, right? Thank you for everybody that came on. Thank you for my co-host, my business partner, the number one big unk, right? And my closing statements tonight will be, when it comes to co-parenting, right? Remember that person was once our friend. We had a friendship at one given time. Despite the cause or the effect of the relationship decaying, we should still be able to have a mutual friendship, especially when we have a vested child. Because our child is a reflection of us. And we have to be, some of us came from toxicity childhoods. We don't want to promote that no more. We want to break these things. We want to break these cycles, right? I'm not gonna go deep into it because yes, this might be a part 2 to this. However, it's an honor. Please subscribe to KBST Live, the YouTube channel. We're on Instagram, Snapchat. Please follow us, support us. I got a special treat for y'all next week, though. Next week? Oh, my God. But stay tuned. So we're going to tap in next week, Saturday.
Hey, he got
12
me
p.m.
excited. Like, who?
Wait, what?
Hey,
look, man, I've been wanting this, brother, since I started.
okay.
Coming next week.
Hey, listen.
Coming next week.
Can I say 3 candy bars? That's what it costs to subscribe, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all subscribing to these platforms and y'all supporting y'all content creators. Y'all make sure y'all follow and pick these content creators up. Everybody that's graced the platform today, whether it be the comments or the box. These are great inspirational people, and we want to make sure that we support each other.
Put your stuff
3
where
candy bars. Hit that subscribe button right now, y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm telling y'all, it's a whole bunch of different store.
Yes. Thank you. Until then, I'm so excited for next week, though. Just come back, tune in. I'm pretty sure you're going to love the brother I'm bringing next week. I'm going to promote this one all week. SB, thank you for joining KBST. Let's go. Till next week, y'all. Y'all have a nice day.